Hari Om. Keep the eyes closed. Both the hands on your knees. Attention towards your breathing pattern. We will chant Om in low pitch with prolonged makar. Exhale out completely. Slowly and deeply inhale. Om. Inner awareness. Calming. Myself, Sri Krishna Vasanta Maskar, welcome you all for this webinar of Indian Yoga Association Maharashtra Unit. आपल्याला कल्पना आहे की 2019 साली महाराष्ट्र युनिट फॉर्मेशन झालं. 18 साली फॉर्मेशन झालं, पण ऍक्च्युअल वर्किंग सुरू झालं आपलं 2019 पासून. आणि नंतर पेंडेमिकच्या कंडिशनमुळे बऱ्याचशा गोष्टीवरती आपल्या रिस्ट्रिक्शन आली होती, बट वी कंटिन्यू टू हॅव लॉट मेनी वेबिनार्स. ऑनलाईन प्रोसेस आपण चालू केल्या होत्या आणि योगातल्या अनेक क्षेत्रामध्ये काम करणारे योगतज्ञ, भले त्यांचं एरिया ऑफ एक्सलन्स, एरिया ऑफ ऑपरेशन मे बी डिफरंट, मे बी मेडिकल, मे बी समथिंग एल्स, अशा अनेक लोकांना आपण त्या वेबिनार्स मध्ये इन्व्हॉल्व करून घेतलं होतं. IYA Maharashtra is primarily developed and formed for having coordination in the Maharashtra-based yoga institutions. महाराष्ट्रामध्ये ज्या योगा इन्स्टिट्यूशन्स आहेत त्या सगळ्यांच्या मध्ये कोऑर्डिनेशन पाहिजे, समन्वय पाहिजे. त्या सर्वांनी एकत्र येऊन एका दिशेने काम करण्याची गरज आहे. कीपिंग देअर इंडिव्हिज्युअलिटी इंटॅक्ट. आपण इथे असं अजिबात अपेक्षित नाहीये की आपल्या एक्सलन्सला सोडून, आपला जो कोर आहे तो सोडून आपण काहीतरी वेगळं करावं, असं अजिबात अपेक्षित नाहीये. वी कॅन डू समथिंग गुड बाय रिमेनिंग ऑर कीपिंग आवर एंटिटी ऑन. आणि दॅट्स वाय इट इज लाईक माइंडेड इन्स्टिट्यूशन कमिंग टुगेदर. त्यामध्ये कैवल्यधाम आहे, योगविद्याधाम आहे, योगविद्या निकेतन आहे, घंटाळी मित्र मंडळ आहे, योग इन्स्टिट्यूट सांताक्रूज आहे. आम्ही गोष्टी आता शॉर्टली मेंबरशिप त्यांची घेण्याच्या पॅटर्न मध्ये आहेत. सो या वेबिनारच्या माध्यमातून व्हॉट वी वॉन्ट टू अचीव्ह इज कोऑर्डिनेशन बिटवीन लाईक माइंडेड पीपल. लोकांनी एकत्र यावं, वेगवेगळ्या विषयांच्यावरती योगाच्या माध्यमातून काय काम करता येईल याबद्दल काही डिस्कशन, काही डेलिब्रेशन्स व्हावी, हा याच्या मागचा मूळ उद्देश आहे. आणि त्या बॅकग्राऊंडवरती आज आपण घंटाळी मित्रमंडळाच्या उपाध्यक्ष आहेत डॉक्टर उल्का नातू. ही त्यांची एक ओळख आहेच. ॲट द सेम टाइम एक अतिशय प्रथितयश गायनाकोलॉजिस्ट ठाण्यातल्या आणि फुल टाइम मंडळाच्या कामाला डिव्होट केलेल्या. ॲट टाइम शी हॅड forgone her practice to work with Ghandari Mitra Mandal. And today also she is doing a beautiful balance of work life and social life. So ही आयडियल सिच्युएशन आहे की ज्यामध्ये आपल्याकडच्या स्किल्सचा वापर करून योगाचा प्रचार आणि प्रसार कसा करावा हे ज्यांनी आम्हाला शिकवलं त्या गुरुवर्या अण्णांचं स्मरण तर निश्चितपणे प्रत्येक इव्हेंटला, प्रत्येक आमच्या कार्यक्रमामध्ये आम्ही करत असतोच. ते जरी आज देहरूपाने आमच्यात नसले तरी कार्यरूपाने किंवा त्यांच्या इनिशिएटिव्हच्या माध्यमातून ते आमच्याबरोबर कायम आहेत. आणि ह्या सगळ्या प्रोसेसमध्ये ही जी काही आज डेव्हलपमेंट सगळ्या लोकांची चालू आहे, दोज पीपल आर रिचिंग टू व्हेरियस हाईट्स ऑफ देअर करिअर ॲज वेल ॲज योगिक करिअर. ते बघून त्यांना निश्चितपणे आनंद होतच असतो आणि होत असणारच आहे. तर त्यांच्या स्मरणाला, त्यांच्या स्मृतीला मी पुन्हा सुरुवातीलाच वंदन करतो. आणि IYAच्या वेबिनार्समध्ये सर्व लोकांनी जास्तीत जास्त पार्टिसिपेशन घ्यावं आणि जास्तीत जास्त प्रमाणात या कार्यक्रमांना हजेरी लावावी आणि आपलं स्वतःचं उन्नयन करून घ्यावं अशी अपेक्षा व्यक्त करतो. इंडिव्हिज्युअल मेंबरशिप, इन्स्टिट्युशनल मेंबरशिप, प्रोफेशनल मेंबरशिप, अनेक प्रकारचे मेंबरशिप त्याच्यामध्ये आहेत. तुम्ही IYAच्या वेबसाईटमध्ये गेला तर तुम्हाला त्या कॅटेगरीमध्ये मेंबरशिप मिळते, घेऊ शकता आणि त्याच्यामधनं तुम्ही या लोकांशी जोडलेले राहू शकता. दर महिन्याला एक वेगळा एक्सपर्ट किंवा एक वेगळा तज्ञ या विषयातला आपण बोलवतो. आणि आज मला खूप आनंद आहे की घंटाळी मित्रमंडळाची स्पेअर हेड रिसर्च मधली आणि IYAचा आणि YCB मध्ये किंवा विशेषतः मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ आयुष मध्ये आमच्या मंडळाचा झेंडा बळकट ठेवणारी उल्का आज आमच्या बरोबर आहे. सो आय एम रिअली हॅपी टू वेलकम हर अँड वेलकम यू ऑल. तर हे इनिशियल फक्त इंट्रोडक्टरी प्रोसेस सांगितल्यानंतर नाव आय टेक युअर लीव्ह नॉट फ्रॉम द मीटिंग. पाठक तुम्ही घाबरू नका, मी कुठे पळून जात नाही, मी इथे थ्रू आउट आहे, डोंट वरी. ऍक्च्युली आज मी नव्हतो इथे खरा म्हणजे, पण मी एक दिवस लवकर आलो त्यामुळे आय एम एबल टू अटेंड इट इन पर्सन इन ऑल रिस्पेक्ट्स. सो वेलकम ऑल वन्स अगेन अँड नाउ आय टेक युअर लीव्ह अँड हँड ओव्हर द नेक्स्ट प्रोसिडिंग्स टू सतीश पाठक, डॉक्टर सतीश पाठक. ओव्हर टू यू सतीश पाठक. हरिओम. मी फक्त माझा व्हिडिओ बंद करतोय, मी आहे, डोंट वरी, घेऊ नका.
हरिओम. मी डॉक्टर पाठक. मला डॉक्टर उल्का नातू मॅडमची इंट्रोडक्शन करून देण्याचं काम आहे. तर डॉक्टर उल्का नातू यांनी स्त्रीरोगशास्त्रामध्ये डिप्लोमा आणि डिग्री MD आणि DGO दोन्ही अभ्यास केलेला आहे आणि त्याचप्रमाणे त्यांनी क्लिनिकल एम्ब्रिओलॉजिस्ट ISARचं सर्टिफिकेशन पण केलेलं आहे. स्त्रीरोग तज्ज्ञ म्हणून तर आहेतच त्या, परंतु योगाच्या अभ्यासामध्ये सुद्धा त्यांनी प्रावीण्य मिळवलं आहे. त्यांनी डिप्लोमा इन योगा एज्युकेशन आणि ॲडव्हान्स डिप्लोमा इन योगा हा मुंबई विद्यापीठाचे जे 2 कोर्सेस त्यांनी चांगल्या प्रकारे केलेले आहेत. सध्या त्या डायरेक्टर ऑफ नेस्ट हॉस्पिटल म्हणून कार्यरत आहेत, जिथे ते पेशंट बघत असतात. आणि योगाच्या ह्याच्यामध्ये त्या व्हाईस प्रेसिडेंट घंटाळी मित्र मंडळाचे आहेत, जेणेकरून जिथे योगाचं काम बघितलं जातं. त्याचप्रमाणे त्या कैवल्यधामच्या बोर्ड ऑफ स्टडीजच्या मेंबर पण होत्या. तसंच एथिकल कमिटी, इन्स्टिट्यूशनल एथिकल कमिटी जी आमची कैवल्यधामची आहे त्याच्या पण त्या मेंबर आहेत. त्यांनी एक्सपर्ट म्हणून योगा फॉर मॅटर्नल अँड चाइल्ड हेल्थ मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ आयुष मध्ये त्या कार्यरत आहेत. तसंच टेलिव्हिजन आणि रेडिओ याच्यावरती गेले 30 वर्ष त्यांचे कार्यक्रम होत असतात, ज्यामध्ये ते योगाबद्दल अवेअरनेस निर्माण करतात. पब्लिकेशन्स मध्ये त्यांचं योगा अँड डायबिटीस वरती त्यांचा रिसर्च पेपर पब्लिश झाला आहे. त्याचप्रमाणे PCOD जो सध्या महिलांमध्ये फार महत्वाचा प्रॉब्लेम झालेला आहे यंग जनरेशन मध्ये, त्याच्यावरती पण त्यांनी काम केलं आणि त्याच्यावरती पण त्यांचं एक आर्टिकल प्रसिद्ध झालेलं आहे. सांगण्यास आनंद वाटतो की PCOD पॉलिसिस्टिक ओव्हरियन सिंड्रोम किंवा डिसीज याच्यावरती फार कमी काम झालेलं आहे योगामध्ये, त्याच्यामध्ये त्यांनी काम केलंय. तसंच आता सध्या नॅशनल अवेअरनेस मध्ये त्या आणि मी दोघं मिळून आम्ही त्याच्यावरती आम्ही लेख लिहून त्या नॅशनल अवेअरनेसच्या प्रोग्राम मध्ये आम्ही मदत केली आहे. त्यांना अर्धा डझनच्या पेक्षा जास्त अवॉर्ड मिळालेले आहेत. योगरत्न अवॉर्ड, योगमित्र अवॉर्ड, तेजस्विनी अवॉर्ड, वुमेन ऑफ सबस्टन्स अवॉर्ड, त्याच्यानंतर नवदुर्गा अवॉर्ड, लोकमत सखी सन्मान अवॉर्ड आणि आदिशक्ती अवॉर्ड. तसंच त्यांना इंडियन मेडिकल असोसिएशननी फेलिसिटेट केलेलं आहे फॉर एक्स्ट्रॉर्डनरी अचिव्हमेंट इन पॅशन बियॉन्ड प्रोफेशन इन 25th hour ऑफ द डे. त्यांनी आतापर्यंत बऱ्याच ठिकाणी योगाच्या वरती लेक्चर्स दिलेले आहेत, नॅशनल इंटरनॅशनल कॉन्फरन्समध्ये, स्पेशली ऑस्ट्रेलिया, USA अँड दुबई. अशा बहुआयामी व्यक्तिमत्व आज आपल्याला या लेक्चरसाठी मिळालेलं आहे. जागतिक महिला दिन गेल्या महिन्यात साजरा झाला. गेल्या महिन्यामध्ये भरपूर उपक्रम राबवले गेले असतील, म्हणून आम्ही विचार केला की ह्या महिन्यामध्ये महिलांच्या स्वास्थ्याबद्दल बोलणं आणि योगाच्या द्वारे त्याचं कसं निवारण करता येईल ह्याच्यासाठी एक्सपर्ट माणूस आम्ही तुमच्या पुढे ठेवलेला आहे. डॉक्टर उल्का नातू या प्रॅक्टिसिंग गायनाकोलॉजिस्ट आहे, त्याच्यामुळे डे टू डे त्या रोज महिलांच्या समस्या ऐकतात आणि त्याचं निराकरण करतात. आणि त्याचप्रमाणे त्या योगाच्या पण ऍक्टिव्ह आहे. त्याच्यामुळे नुसतं बोलाची घडी आणि बोलाचं घात असं होणार नाही, कारण त्या रोज प्रॅक्टिस करतात, बघतात काय प्रॉब्लेम आहे, ते कसं निराकरण करता येईल त्याच्याबद्दल त्यांच्याकडे फार चांगले अनुभव आहेत. म्हणून मी डॉक्टर उल्का नातूंना सांगतो की तुम्ही आज आमच्या सर्व समस्त महिलांना योगाच्या द्वारे त्यांचे समस्या कशा निवारण करता येईल त्याच्यावर आपण त्यांना मार्गदर्शन करावं. डॉक्टर उल्का नातू, पुन्हा तुमचं एकदा मी स्वागत करतो आणि आय हँड ओव्हर माइक टू यू फॉर युअर नेक्स्ट लेक्चर. थँक्यू व्हेरी मच. हरिओम.
Thank you, Dr. Pathak ji. Thank you, Maskar Guruji. I am grateful to Ghantali Mitra Mandal and Indian Yoga Association for giving me this wonderful opportunity to share my views about yoga for women. Being a practicing gynecologist, I think I'll be able to share a lot of things with all of you. Let us start the screen share so that I'm able to give you my views properly. Yoga for women. Is this a new subject? No, not at all. We have the examples of yoginis of the Vedic period. Women of the ancient Vedic period enjoyed equal rights on social, religious, political, financial platforms. Aitariya Brahmana, which is a very ancient text, mentions wife as a true friend. Co-education was a system which was observed in ancient Gurukul system. Not only the formal, but the military education was imparted to achieve both physical and mental fitness. Child marriage, marriage without approval from the girl, was impossible in the Vedic period. They had equal opportunities in all the fields, and they used to participate in debates, Pandita Sabha, or conferences. Rigved mentions about equal property rights for widows and even unmarried girls. It also mentions about the remarriage of a widow. There was no dowry system, no harassment of any type. To mention a few talented and dynamic personalities whose contribution to literature and building of a healthy society has been really amazing. We have heard about Lopamudra, Indrani, Juhu, Apala, Surya, Vishalya, Jabala, Sukanya, Maitreyi, Indrasena, Gargi, Katyayini, Medha, Usha, Aditi, Urvashi, Saraswati, and Sukanya, to name a few. We also have the examples of the yoginis of the recent past. We have female saints of Maharashtra in all over India and abroad. We have the examples of Sharada Ma, the mother of Aurobindo Ashram. Bhagini Nivedita was the Shishottama of Swami Vivekananda. Here are the pictures of Sharada Ma and Bhagini Nivedita. The best part is the word Stri comes from the Sanskrit root stru, which means to expand or to spread. The word Mahila means Mahan. The woman helps to spread the message of love in society. She is powerful, and yoga, being the science of body and mind, will transform her to yogini and will help promote the quality of her life. Let us come to the superwoman of the modern age. We have teachers, doctors, scientists, professionals, and even the housemakers. They are all the real yoginis of the modern world. Not a single field is untouched by the woman or the superwoman of the modern age. They not only take care of their near and the dear ones, immensely contribute to building of the nation and the world. The contribution is in the form of work of these women in the modern age in any capacity. They work like multi-purpose workers. The woman of the modern age is a driver, she's a housemaker, she's a professional and everything. So they're sort of multi-purpose workers. In order to achieve the success, they work beyond their capacity. That is the truth of life. What is the result of this struggle? The success leading to ego and multiplication of ambitions. Whether it is right or wrong, I'm not debating on that, but that is a true fact of life. The failure or the frustration, depression, failure to accept, adapt, and accommodate to the needs of the modern life leads to irritability. And both these can lead to genesis of dis-ease. Let us understand the woman's body. We have the anatomical body and we have the spiritual body. It is said, men are strong ones, but the women are tough ones. Once we understand the anatomy of the female reproductive system, we have a pear-shaped uterus, which is inverted pear-shaped or pear-shaped uterus. This is the mouth of uterus, the vagina, the inner cavity of the uterus, the fallopian tubes. The lecture can go on and on, but I'm going to cut it short. This is not the lecture for discussing the anatomy of female reproductive system. The position of the uterus can be acutely anteverted or anti-flexed or retroverted. What is it which regulates the menstrual cycle? You have the external impulses and you have the internal impulses of emotions and stress, etc., which act upon the central nervous system or the cerebral hemispheres. There is one structure in the brain called hypothalamus, and this hypothalamus controls the anterior pituitary. Central nervous system controls the hypothalamus, which incidentally also happens the center of emotions in the brain. This hypothalamus also controls the thirst, the hunger. Everything is controlled by this hypothalamus. This hypothalamus controls the anterior pituitary, which is the master of endocrine orchestra. So if the emotions are disturbed, the anterior pituitary gland is disturbed, which results in disturbance of lot of important hormones in the body. And two important hormones here are FSH, that is the follicle stimulating hormone, and luteinizing hormone, which stimulate the ovary to produce an egg every month. Once the anterior pituitary or these two hormones are disturbed, the cycle of ovulation is disturbed in the ovary, leading to genesis of PCOD and lot of other menstrual discomforts. This ovary acts, or the ovarian hormones, which are estrogen and progesterone, act on the uterus, that is the target organ. So any disturbance in the central nervous system from either the internal or the external environment leads to the disturbance of the menstrual cycle from the uterus via this pathway of hypothalamus pituitary on ovary, that is HPO axis. Once we have understood this, let us understand the physiologic definition of the menstrual cycle. It is nothing but the outward and the visible cycle or the sign of the periodic activity of the ovaries. You know that the ovaries are working. That is why there is menstrual cycle every month. A beautiful definition, which I just love giving in every lecture I give this definition, which is devised by our Paramahamsa Swami Satyananda Saraswati, our Parama Guru. He says, just as the body is casting off the substances it doesn't need anymore, so we too can throw off the worn out ideas and self-images and make the most of this opportunity for self-renewal. The spiritual body of the woman, or any living being for that matter, consists of these 5 koshas. And I think as the yoga lovers and yoga teachers, we all are aware of the Annamaya kosha, the Pranamaya kosha, or the kosha of pranic energy, the Manomaya kosha, the kosha of intuition, intellect, the Vijnanamaya kosha, that is intuitive intelligence, that is intuition, the bliss or the Anandamaya kosha, and beyond that are Swamiji, Swami Niranjanananda Saraswati ji is my guru. And he says there is one more kosha, that is Atmamaya kosha. Although these koshas are existent on the level of Trigunas, that is Prakriti, beyond that, once one becomes one with the Purusha, that kosha, it cannot be described, and that is just the stage of merging, or that is the stage of yoga, that is union with Paramatman. These koshas can be compared with Annamaya kosha compared with ice, which is really in the solidified form. The Pranamaya kosha is like water, it is flowing. It is the energy which is flowing. Manomaya kosha, that is mind or the vapor, goes anywhere it feels like. So that is mind. So it is compared with Manomaya Kosha. Vijnanamaya Kosha is compared to ether. And bliss or stage of Anandamaya Kosha and Atmamaya Kosha are beyond any comparison with anything. When we talk of yoga and women, we can, easily visualize these steps of Ashtanga Yoga and steps of Karma, Jnana, Bhakti, and Raja. And now let us understand how beautifully Swami Niranjanananda Saraswati has asked us to incorporate yoga in our daily life. Need of yoga for a woman. See, I am going to touch upon 4 important stages in a woman's life. That is the adolescence, the childbearing age group, the menopause, and the pregnancy. So how yoga is useful on all these stages in a woman's life, we are going to touch and go because we don't have that much adequate time. I have to cover this topic in a total span of 1 hour 75 minutes. Let's leave 10 minutes time for question answers at the end. So I'll try and cover as much as possible. I have almost 97 slides to share with you all. For women, why do we need yoga? That is to offer them health, healing, and harmony. Why? For society, to make people understand the role of women in the spiritual reality. What is concept of disease in yogic terminology? A wave in the ocean must be at the cost of hollow elsewhere, says Swami Vivekananda. Such a beautiful definition. We understand that there is either kujirnatva or jirnatva or ati jirnatva of the pranic energy anywhere in the body. It leads to the formation of disease. I'll give you an example. Suppose there is malignancy. There is excessive proliferation of the cells, that is ati jirnatva of the prana. If there is a formation of fibroid, there is ati jirnatva. If there is problem of anovulation, that is PCOD, lack of ovulation, there is ajirnatva of the pranic energy. These are all simple examples which I am trying to give you to understand the concept of disease in yogic language. So let us move ahead. The stress of modern life and work pressure has given new ABCD of diseases to all our modern superwomen. We have A for acidity, we have B for blood pressure, we have C for cardiac problems, we have D for diabetes, E for endometriosis in females, F for fibroids, G for other gynecologic disorders, H for hypothyroidism, I for infertility, and the list goes on till Z. What is the role of this ancient science of yoga in the battle of life today? Yoga is, it's an effort to self-perfection. What is it? It's a methodized effort to self-perfection. It is a beautiful definition given by Sri Aurobindo. Yoga is nothing, but it is homeostasis. What is it? It is equanimity, harmony, or balance. Samatvam yoga uchyate. Joy, it is a balance in joy, happiness, everything. It's a perfect, or it's a beautifully designed lifestyle by our Rishiminis. Yoga means physical reconditioning. It means mind controlling and emotion culturing and spiritually evolving. It's a beautiful definition of yoga. Excessive stress, which we are dealing with in the modern age, especially the females. I can, say it with confidence because I have also been a part of all these, happenings in my life too. Every woman, nobody is an exception. So there is a physical stress, leads to excessive loss of energy, which is compensated by food or medicines. And this compensation by food leads to genesis of obesity. The mental stress. Overthinking leads to confusion. loss of memory, loss of accurate judgment, disturbed perception and cognition, emotional disturbance which arises because of disturbed relationship with people, with your spouse, with objects and events in your life. To control the stress, controlling the mind is extremely important, and you all will agree with me very well. Mind has to be used for practice of yoga. And bad servant, it is given. Swamiji gives this beautiful simile. The bad servant, that is your mind, it has to be used for a good cause. It is necessary to change the nature of the servant. And there is a beautiful example given for that. You have a servant who has a habit of stealing things. We cannot hand over the cash department to him or her. Similarly, we have to understand the problems of mind. Yes, this mind is definitely an unstable structure. This mind just goes haywire here and there. It just tries to control us. It tries to bring us under the control, becoming the master. But we cannot allow the servant to become the master. Let us understand it beautifully. Once we understand the problem of our mind, I know what my mind is. I have to understand that is what is Atmadarshana. And that is nothing but practice of yoga. What are the problems of my mind? My mind is very impure. Why it is impure? Because it cannot work without giving any incentive. So, without working without any incentive is nothing but karma yoga. That is neki kar aur darya mein dal. Do the best, leave the rest. The remedy is karma yoga, and that is purification of mind. Do we do that every day in our life? No, we don't. We have to really practice to do it. What are the different dissipations of mind? To control the unsteady nature of mind, we have bhakti yoga. We have to dissipate all the negativity, and to control that we have bhakti yoga. That is surrendering. Ignorance is taken care of with the way of jnana yoga. Answer to all this is jnana yoga. Understand that you are ignorant. Understand that we are stupid fools, in simple words. And once we understand that, the taking care of the stupidity becomes very easy. So how do we systematically approach the problems of our mind? We have understood now that the root cause of all the problems is our mind. It is the cause of the disturbance to the hypothalamus. And once we understand how to tackle the hypothalamus, life is very simple. My Guruji used to say, Yogacharya Shri Krishna Vyavahari Ji, he used to say, the life is very simple. We make it complicated. He used to say, a little bit of practice of asana, little bit of pranayama and relaxation does not give us the complete picture of yoga. We practice little bit and we say, wow, I'm feeling so good. See, if little bit of practice can give you so much of relief from your complaints and problems, what if you incorporate it as a lifestyle? Will you not get relief from all your problems? Yes, there is at least a possibility that you will get. Our involvement finishes once it feels a little better. So let's not do that. Satatya yoga, he used to say, Nairantarya Satu, the Patanjali also says that, the consistency in the practices makes it all. Yoga practice should be converted to sadhana. What is sadhana? Swami Niranjanananda Saraswati says, I am really grateful to all our gurus who have given us so much material to think on. These are not my own views. I have taken from the literature. And these guiding lines, I feel if we just contemplate on all these things, definitely that can improve our life to a great extent. Swamiji says, practice of Hatha Yoga, it's just kg of yoga. So you have entered the practice. Yes, you have entered the kg. Sadhana is the primary or the middle school. Practicing yoga for its prescribed purpose. What is the prescribed purpose? Methodized effort to self-perfection. That is the prescription. Yoga is nothing but union with that Paramatman. Now, I can only be a Paramatman only if I have the qualities of that of Paramatma. That is what is, important for me. So, sadhana, practicing to its prescribed purpose and efforts to beautify your own life is termed as sadhana. I should make my life beautiful. Nobody has a right to disturb my life. So, if I convert my practice to sadhana, only then I can do it. Incorporation of yogic principles in life, make it a lifestyle, is like a college education. And when the principles become the inseparable part of our behavior, you become one with the yogic culture, and then you are a yogi. We had been to Munger to learn advanced practices from our Guru, Swami Niranjanananda Saraswati ji. On the first day of our camp, Guruji asked, "How many of you are yoga teachers?" All the hands were up. We were so proud that we've been practicing and we've been teaching yoga since so many years. But trust my words if I tell you, at the end of the 1 week with Guruji, with Swamiji, Paramahansaji, end of 1 week, we all realized we are not true yoga teachers. And at the end of 1 week, when Swamiji asked us the same question, "Now tell us how many of you are teachers," our head was down, and none of us even had the courage to face Swamiji, because we knew what we teach. We are not practicing it in our daily life. So this is the introspection, which is what is very much necessary. So yoga in daily life is described by Swamiji as Bahiranga Yoga. He says this will help you achieve the Sanyama, that is, become the master of your own actions and behavior and thought and speech. My God, such a difficult thing to achieve. That is the perfect integration of head, heart, and hands. It is so difficult. Hatha Yoga, he says, once you start practicing asanas, pranayam, bandha, mudra, shat karma, that will take care of your annamaya and pranamaya kosha. Raja Yoga, that is eightfold path, that is starting with yama, niyama, asana, pranayam, pratyahar, dharana, dhyana, and samadhi, will take care of your manomaya kosha. And Kriya Yoga will take care of, that is pratyahar, dharana, dhyana practices, will take care of your vijnanamaya and anandamaya kosha. See, it is very simple for me to read these slides and give you the beautiful lecture. But if you read each and every line carefully, I think in this life, if we are able to control our annamaya kosha also, that will be more than enough. But I'm very hopeful, because Bhagavad Gita has promised me that I will start my life in the next Janma from where I have left. So at least there is certainty of continuing the journey further. Let us first in this life understand what it is. So with the practice of Bahiranga Yoga, what am I aiming at? Fine balance is attained in the vrittis. The inner transformation begins. Now I start realizing, oh yes, there is something which I need to look at, the higher goal. Okay. The perceptions change. The world doesn't change. I'll give you an example. If it is raining outside, my Guruji used to give this example always. If it is raining outside, somebody will say, "Oh my God, such beautiful weather. I feel like going and jumping in this rainy season outside and getting drenched in the rain." While as the other person might just say, "Oh my God, such horrible weather. Now I'm sure I'm going to land up in cough and cold the next day." So it is just, the weather is just the same. It is just your perception and your way and attitude of looking at things which is going to change you. Once the perception changes, attitude changes, automatically our reaction to the things change. I'm going to come to that point, whether it is a reaction or the response. Yoga becomes a natural expression of our life. So the process of Atma Darshana starts there. And Samatvam Yoga Uchate, Yoga Karma Sukashalam, Manaprashamana upayah iti yogaha, and all those beautiful definitions of. I am not talking of chitta vritti nirodha because chitta is still way, way, way ahead. So at least we start looking at all these definitions and start introspecting, where do I fit myself in all this. Then Swamiji talks of Antaranga Yoga. He talks of Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga is the only way you can purify yourself. And unless there is a purification, there is no perfection at any stage in life. Purification of the work, purification of emotions, purification of everything is possible only with akarta bhava or naishkarmya bhava. That is what is described in Bhagavad Gita. Again, I am repeating, neki kar or darya mein dal de. Bas, you have to just work without expecting the fruits. Bhagavad Gita promises you that there is a fruit given for everything. That fruit may not be in the form or in the way you expect it to be, but by default, there is a fruit of everything. Have trust, have faith in Guru, in Guru Padesh, and just move ahead in life. It has to benefit you. Yoga, it is said that it is like a kalpataru. Sit under the shade of kalpataru and ask for anything. You will get it. But what to ask depends on you. Bhakti Yoga teaches you surrender, sacrifice, love for all. It is said that God gives and forgives, but we get and forget. Can we change our attitude? Can we change even a little bit? Jnana Yoga is nothing but a reflection of luminosity of your wisdom. You realize that you are the Ajimi Brahma Pahile. It is said by our Santa Vangmaya that yes, Ajimi Brahma Pahile. Santa Jnaneshwar says, Santa Tukaram says, in similar language, all of them say that yes, we have seen it. What is it? It is that root of that Paramatman. And then a stage comes when they say, Je Je Bhute Bhete Bhuta, Tete Mani Je Bhagavanta. Whoever comes on my way, I don't find faults and problems with anyone. Why? Because I see him or her as an incarnation of that Almighty. So I develop wisdom. We are actually creators. This is a line by Swami Chinmayananda. He used to say, we are actually creators, but we have become creatures. Let us change. So, practical application of yoga in daily life is by way of karma, jnana, bhakti, hatha yoga, raja yoga, and kriya yoga. That is the wheel of yoga in daily life. Now, let us talk something about yogic practices for females pertaining to all these important stages in her life, that is application of yoga for modern age. We will discuss about adolescent age group. We will discuss about childbearing age group, which may be related to infertility. We will discuss about yogic practices in pregnancy and in menopause. As I told you in the beginning, it is not an easy task for me to cover all this in the time given, but we are going to just touch on all these important stages in the life and discuss whatever is good for us. So, menstrual disorders in adolescence and yoga sadhana. The girls have the problems of menstrual irregularity, the problems related to flow, associated pain, and premenstrual tension syndrome. They have the stress of studies, the competitive exams they have to face. There is shyness, ignorance, and victims of isolation as a social custom. And that is during menstruation. Still in some parts of the country, these practices are followed. So we have to look for a method which will be without any side effect, which will be economical, it will be beneficial, and it will be useful for lifetime. Swami Paramahamsa Satyananda Saraswati mentions that if yoga were taught in every school, every a young person everywhere in the world would be well adjusted, healthy and happy, perceptive and understanding, physically and mentally fit, and they would be capable of their own potential and more capable of its realization. So, could yoga give an answer to alleviate the menstrual trouble? Additionally, help to cope with the stressful situations in life? Yes, we have different asanas. These diagrams are drawn by one of my friend. All of you being yoga teachers, most of you can recognize the asanas which are described here. But tell me, doing Shirshasana, doing Viparit Karni, Halasana, Sarvangasana, all these practices definitely help. But if you are in the final sthiti of that particular asana, and if you are thinking very negatively, can you imagine that Shirshasana, if you are saying that, oh yes, that friend of mine has acted with me in a very bad way, and now I am going to, give her complaint to this one, that one, whatever. So tell me, if you are in that frame of mind, then can the asanas give you the expected benefit? Can they give you tato dvandvana bhigataha sthiti of your mind? Can they help you gain the sthiti of prayatna shaitilya ananta samapatibhyam? Difficult, no? Sounds really difficult, because sthira sukham asanam, that is sthirata sukhamayata, is important while practicing asanas, not only of the body, but also of the mind. So understand that whatever asanas are being shown in this picture, they are helpful, but only if you do with a perfect attitude. If you practice the asanas, pranayam, whatever have been prescribed, only then that is useful. You can see our adolescents practicing this beautifully, and we have conducted this study which helped the girls in the menstrual irregularity, flow, pain. This was presented in Suffolk, that is in the Gynac South Asia Federation conference. These results were presented also in International Yoga Conference, and this project or this study of ours was felicitated. And I'm very proudly saying this, that my Guruji Yogacharya Sri Krishna Vyavahare always encouraged us to do and conduct the studies and help us. He used to help us present them in different conferences. So why do I say that these practices help? Is there any scientific basis for this? Yes, we have understood the compartments. That is compartment 4. It helps the pranayam shavasana meditation affect the neuroendocrine circuit of hypothalamus. Compartment 1, 2, and 3. Various asanas help in shunting of blood flow from viscera, resulting in less congestion of the pelvic viscera. Also, daily yoga abhyas help in better concentration in studies, stability of mind and emotions. Let us understand the effect of yogic practices on infertility related to PCOD. Again, this project was honored, and the research was acknowledged by the AMOGS, that is a medical conference in gynecology. So infertility, what is infertility? Basically, it is inability to conceive within 1 year in spite of the unprotected intercourse. Causes are many, but ovulatory disorders are one of the most important common reasons why women are unable to conceive, and they account for 30% of infertility. PCOS, it is one of the most important problem of the modern age. It's a lifestyle disease. It is so much prevalent nowadays that we have PCOD Society of India. Dr. Pathak mentioned about it in his introduction. PCOS is one of the most common endocrinopathy. The reported figures are 20% to 33%. But trust my words if I tell you, in the urban area especially, every alternate girl of the adolescent age suffers from PCOS. The causes are overweight, stress, irregular lifestyle, faulty diet, and a genetic basis for the same, but I have put it in the last category. The treatment options available for the modern woman are ovulation induction with tablets, injections, laparoscopy, weight reduction, exercise, and the fourth option is yogic practices. See, if you are too much stressed, why does it cause obesity? High level of chronic stress brings about raised levels of steroids in blood. Now, this results in increased fat. This is the medical, the truth behind it, that it leads to increased fatty acid influx outside the fat cells and inside the muscle. This leads to stereochemical changes in the membrane receptors, leads to genesis of insulin resistance. And that is why the faulty lifestyle gives rise to genesis of diabetes. And this diabetes, I'm very sorry to say that India has highest number of diabetics in the world, and the young generation suffers the most. And I feel this has to be reversed. So Stop Diabetes program of West Vyasa has done a lot in this. And we also have published our research as to how yogic practices help in diabetes to improve this insulin resistance. So thus, stress levels lead to combination of obesity with raised serum triglycerides and raised blood sugar level. So at Ghandali Mitra Mandal at Thane, we have done this work, that correction of the lifestyle related stress, how it helps. It helps in control of emotion. It trains the hypothalamo-pituitary ovarian axis by giving a different angle to life, that is a spiritual, emotional, and mental state, which is improved beyond doubt. Treatment of associated problems like hypothyroidism or any other problem like hypertension is done beautifully. Attitudinal change comes automatically. We don't have to tell the patients to control their diet. The diet control is done automatically by that girl, because she develops an attitudinal change because of changed food habits. Once you are awake at night, you have a tendency to, the ghrelin hormone increases. And levels of ghrelin hormone increase. G is for greed. So you tend to open the fridge and put anything what is there in the fridge in the mouth at night, especially when these girls keep awake for the studies. All that is reversed. Correction in hormonal status resulting in spontaneous ovulation. So thus, yoga can be effective means of heterostasis. What is heterostasis? These are the artificial means to achieve homeostasis. So yoga, the asanas, the pranayam, everything helps in bringing about this. Let us come to menopause. What is menopause? I'll come to the definition in a short while. There are 4 stages. It doesn't come overnight. There is a stage of premenopause, which is a normal reproduction phase of life. Perimenopause, it varies from few months to years before the actual menopause sets in. Menopause is the permanent cessation of the menstrual cycle. Post-menopause, that is 1 year after the last menstrual period, we have the premature menopause phase, when the menopause is before 40 years of age. What is the definition of menopause? It is derived from a Greek terminology called menos, which means month, and pause is to stop. So it refers to the last menstrual period, and it is generally considered to have occurred after 1 year of complete cessation of menses. The climacteric, or the clima, which means the ladder, is that period of time around the menopause when the ovarian function is gradually compromised. The real clinical importance of menopause today lies in the increasing longevity of the 20th century woman. At the time of Roman Empire, the average lifespan or expectancy was only 23 years. So nobody experienced menopause. While from the Middle Ages until the late 19th century, only some 30% of women survived to experience the menopause. Natural menopause requires no treatment. This is the line I have taken from our medical textbook, Jeffcott. It says that treatment is needed only for surgical menopause and premature menopause. So let us not unnecessarily, sort of inflate the problem of menopause. It's a natural happening in the body. I'm not going into the details of the treatment, but understand one thing, that the integrated approach of yoga therapy helps a lot. Let us understand the word estrogen. Every time it is claimed that it is this estrogen hormone which is definitely less, and that is what is responsible for menopause. It is not so. The word estrogen comes from the Greek word, means mad with desire. But this basic integrated approach of yoga therapy, it helps the menopausal process to accept and accommodate. Modern life exposes to continuous stress. I'm not going into the detail about the definition of stress and what causes stress. All of us are very much familiar with the stress, but the sedentary habits, the stress, everything is responsible for making menopausal symptoms, symptomatic. Rather, a woman experiences the discomfort. But let us understand that even if we don't, fall a prey to all these symptoms, naturally we can tackle the menopause beautifully. So modern medicine basically offers a symptom suppressing treatment. It doesn't tackle the root cause of the problem, but yoga gives us the means to complement the medical technology with a holistic system of healthcare. Now, this is a topic or a subject which is very much near and dear to my heart. Trust my words. This project, Yogankur, has done miracles. My Guruji, Yogacharya Shri Krishna Vyavahareji, has devised this taking help of Garbhopanishad, which is an old ancient Upanishad which describes about pregnancy and happenings in pregnancy. He has combined the old ancient knowledge with the modern knowledge of obstetrics, and he has prepared this project Yogankur, which we've been implementing for last more than 15 years, and thousands of girls are benefited under this project Yogankur. It is very well understood that maternal stress brings about the change in the HPA or hypothalamus pituitary adrenal gland axis, and this reacts to the sustained stress in pregnancy in the form of endocrine disturbances, high blood pressure in pregnancy, anxiety, small for gestational age babies, repeated abortions, premature deliveries, depression, and decreased immunity in pregnancy. Let us understand the knowledge of Garbhopanishad, that this is one of the old texts which I told you that Guruji studied this. And in this Upanishad describes in detail the pregnancy and yogic methodology to improve the outcome from inception to the birth of the healthy newborn. And then he devised a course teaching the simple asanas to the pregnant girls, which help in improving the flexibility, which help in improving the blood flow to baby, and miraculous results. I'll show you in a short time. Trataka Kriya, which is, this is mudras, pranayam. You can see the Bhakti Yoga or the Nada Yoga being conducted by one of our senior teachers, Shailatai Bhate. You can see our Guruji on the extreme left-hand side. We lost him, but as we say, he's physically not there, but he's all the time there, blessing all of us. These were the ultrasound color Doppler studies which we studied after giving the yogic practices. You can see the beautiful improvement in the volume of the uterine arteries, the umbilical artery, that is the artery which supplies the baby, the middle cerebral artery, which supplies the brain of the baby. These were studies conducted on low birth weight babies, how the brain sparing effect of the, is dealt with. So I'm not going into the medical details, but you have to trust my words. This project was presented in the World Congress of Obstetrics and Gynecology, that is FIGO, in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, way back in 2008. But still, this project is going on. And, long-term effect, we have seen the baby weights improving for gestational age babies. We have seen the amount of the amniotic fluid, if at all it is showing less on the sonography studies. We've seen the Liker improving. We have seen the blood pressure coming under control, and beautifully the pre-diastolic notch disappearing in patients who were under yogic practices. So, in conclusion, improvement in the uteroplacental circulation was brought in pregnancy, decreased middle cerebral artery flow immediately after Nada Yoga and Omkar chanting, probably indicated the baby going off to sleep, totally relaxed it, improved birth weight. Now you tell me, if at all the peripheral resistance of the arteries and the blood vessels reduces, the diameter of the blood vessel increases, will the blood flow passing from the blood vessels improve or no? Yes, it has to improve. And once the blood flow to the placental site improves, the blood flow to the baby automatically increases. That helps in improving the baby weight inside. So physical, mental, emotional relaxation with a feeling of well-being and heightened level of self-confidence was the result of our yogic practices. So regular yogic practices decrease the sympathetic tone, bring about the decrease in the vascular resistance. The asanas practice helps in improving the flexibility, the tonicity. The practice of pranayama improves the respiratory adaptability in pregnancy. The chanting of Omkar, Nada Yoga bring about a subjective sense of relaxation and increased alertness. Chanting of Omkar, chanting of other mantras, guided relaxation and meditation give rise to tremendous mental peace and tranquility. So, what is the take-home message? Some tips. Make efforts to begin the other people fully. Accept yourself, learn to laugh at yourself. Try to reduce your need to find happiness in the outer things. This is what we need to understand. And basically, it is tackling the emotions, which is very, very, very important. Now, this is the basic root cause is unhappiness. Basic root cause is unstable mind and disturbed emotions. And these are the tips, the sadhana, which is helping you to cope up with the disturbed emotions. So if we reduce our needs and we find happiness in whatever we get, why will we get disturbed? Because it is dhyato vishayan pusaha sangasto shupajayate sangat sanjayate kamaha kamat krodho vijayate krodhat bhavati sammohaha sammohat smruti vibhramaha smruti bhramshat buddhinasho buddhinashat pranashyati. So we are trying to avoid the disturbed mind. So find out our emotional needs and desires, and we have to try and live in now. Today is important. Enjoy every action and work. What happened yesterday? I don't remember. What is going to happen tomorrow morning? I don't know. Did everyone appreciate my lecture? I don't know. Did they find it was boring? I don't know. Did they find it was useful and they praised me? I don't know. Just do the work. Do the best. Leave the rest. Try and live now. What do I have tomorrow morning? How will I cope up with my challenge? I have less time. I have so many things to do. Forget it. Just do what you're supposed to do today morning, and just or maybe today evening, because now we are almost at 5:40 p.m. So we just have to live in the particular moment. That's it. Do not identify yourself completely with your actions, your body, and your mind. You're somebody which is beyond it. Am I giving a good lecture? Am I, will people appreciate me or no? My Guruji used to tell me, focus on the content, don't focus on yourself or the speaker. If you focus on the content, the lecture is bound to be good. So do not identify yourself completely with your, I am doing it. Every action has to be converted properly to kriya and not to, karma. Karma bola to the action, it is supported by the karta. But if you, label it as kriya, it just happens automatically. Try to be more open towards other people. These are the tips which I have taken from Swamiji's writings. Remember that everyone has potential to attain higher level of awareness. I have not done any diploma, I have not done any degree, I have not taken any formal education of yoga from Upanishads and this and that. No, you don't need to do that. Just be a good human being and just follow the path which has been shown by your Guru. Have trust and faith and just work on that. You will reach the goal by default. So do not avoid difficult situations. Do not get scared. Doesn't matter. He is there to guide you. He's there to protect you. He's there to lift you and take you across. Don't fear. Don't doubt. If you have any queries and doubts in your mind about the capability of your Guru, then nothing can help you in life. Try to put yourself in the other people's shoes, but only be empathetic and not sympathetic. Their problems are not your problems. You definitely can feel bad, but don't start behaving as though you are in that situation. This is a very important line. Do not react, just respond. It's such an important line. The reaction of the medicines is always bad. Just remember this. But the response to medicine is always good. So how should you react to the situation? Not by reacting, but to responding to a particular situation. See, suppose somebody is angry with you and starts abusing you, and you also start reacting to it, then what will happen? There will be further separation and there will be further break in the relationship. But if you just respond in a good way, oh, is it so? Have I made that mistake? Oh, I might have. Not intentionally. Maybe if you could give me the guidelines, maybe if you could tell me how do I improve, maybe there will be a change next time. See, the response will definitely calm down the opposite person and you will find a change in behavior. This is again something which I just love. This is Swami Shivananda's Ashtanga Yoga. This is the yoga which is a prescription for the modern woman. You don't have time to do asanas. You don't have time to do pranayamas, although these are all very wrong excuses. Along with this Ashtanga Yoga, you have to find out time for yourself for the physical practices, mental, emotional practices. But you have to also incorporate this Ashtanga Yoga in life. Serve, love, serve. That is serve any ill or sick people in the house. Yesterday only I had been to a house, one of our yoga teacher and her mother-in-law is not well at the age of 92. She is in bed. But the way the couple is serving the mother is amazing. It brought tears in my eyes. So serving the needy is something which you need to look at. Love, unconditional love. I'm not loving somebody because I'm expecting something in return. No, unconditional love and support to anyone. Give, learn to give. Giving is very important. Selfless work, selfless seva. Learn to just give. Purify by the way of Karma Yoga as we have described. Be good, do good. Not difficult to be good. Just have to be compassionate, just have to be empathetic. Do good, whatever, to your capacity, to your own understanding, your limitations. Do whatever you can, but do the best to your, the efforts which you are taking to do for someone else should satisfy you, not to somebody else. Just compare yourself with you. That's all. You don't have to compare your action with anyone else. Everyone cannot be Baba Amte. Everyone cannot be Mother Teresa. But yes, I can be Ulka. That's it. I have to compare my work. Yesterday, how I was, and today, how I am. Is there an improvement, at least marginally? Yes. If there is, yes, I am definitely going to.
काय झालं? त्यांचं रेंज
Link.
गेले का?
लिंक गेली बहुतेक असं मला वाटतंय सिम्स.
पुन्हा रिकनेक्ट करता येते का? एक कप इकडे पण द्या. असं कसं एकटेच घेता तुम्ही?
लाईव्ह. मी तिला कॉन्टॅक्ट करतो जरा थांबा.
ओके.
तुमका कनेक्टिव्हिटी गेली का तुझी? हा. हाँ ठीक है, शुरू कर. कंटिन्यू.
Hello.
हाँ कंटिन्यू कर.
I think I lost the connection in between, but doesn't matter. What I was on was the last few slides of my how important it is, to just give me a minute. I was just discussing about the place of different chakras in your body and the place of the main endocrine glands in your body and how yogic practices help you, in that. So you can understand that the place of the sacral plexus and place of ovaries is at the absolute Muladhara Chakra. The place of adrenal gland is nothing but the place of solar plexus, that is the Manipura Chakra. The Swadhisthana Chakra almost, gives the place of ovaries and the testes in males. The thymus gland indicates the place of cardiac plexus and Anahata Chakra. The thyroid gland is the place of cervical plexus with Vishuddhi Chakra, while as pineal is nothing but the Ajna Chakra. So, in modern age, new millennium, let us realize and utilize yoga as a powerful component of scientific medicine. It is safe, it is economical, non-invasive, and non-pharmacologic treatment entity, and we must accept it properly. And therefore, it will definitely help us, treat the gynec disorders in a proper way. I think we have covered most whatever I wanted to cover. And one line I just have to say that my Guruji used to say Sahaja Yoga, Sakatya Yoga, and Samaja Yoga, which is a yoga trayi of the modern age. And he used to believe that for that you have to have the Panchanga Yoga, that is the Shuddhi Kriyas, the asanas, the pranayam, the dharana, and the awakening after that, which is this Panchanga Yoga, which is very, very, very important practice in daily life. Hari Om. Over to Maskar Guruji. Or Shri Dr. Satish Pathak ji. Once again, I express my gratitude. I'm thankful to Ghantali Mitra Mandal and of course Maskar Guruji for giving me this wonderful opportunity to be with all of you.
धन्यवाद मॅडम. आपण महिलांच्या समस्यांबद्दल चांगल्या प्रमाणे विवरण केलं. आता जर कोणाला काही शंका असतील तर त्यांनी आपल्या युट्यूबच्या ह्याच्यावरती टाकलं तर मी त्या मॅडमला विचारून त्याचं उत्तर देते. नस्करजी, तुम्हाला काही दिसतायत का युट्यूब वरती प्रश्न कोणाचे? अच्छा, IYA महाराष्ट्र ब्रँचच्या दर महिन्याच्या वेबिनारचा आज आपण सांगता करूया. डॉक्टर उल्का नाईक यांनी उल्का नातू यांनी आजच्या कार्यक्रमामध्ये महिलांच्या समस्यांबद्दल विस्तृत विवरण केलं आणि त्याचं आपण कशा प्रकारे निराकरण करू शकतो त्याबद्दल पण आपल्याला सांगितलं. त्यांनी आज आपला स्पेशल वेळ काढून आमच्या IYAच्या महाराष्ट्र ब्रँचला वेळ देऊन ह्या विषयावरती बोलण्याचं कबूल केलं आणि चांगल्या प्रकारे लेक्चर घेतलं. त्याबद्दल मी त्यांचे धन्यवाद मानतो. आणि जर कोणाला काही प्रश्न असतील, कदाचित आता येऊ नाही शकले तरी पुढे जर आम्हाला विचारले, मला किंवा मस्कर गुरुजींना, तर ते आम्ही मॅडम पर्यंत पोहोचवून त्याचे उत्तर तुम्हाला व्हॉट्सअपवर देऊ. माझा व्हॉट्सअप नंबर बहुतेक सगळ्यांकडे आहेत ते, तरी पुन्हा एकदा मी टाकतो. तो त्या नंबरवरती तुम्ही तुमचे क्वेश्चन टाकू शकता. हा माझा नंबर आहे. ज्यांना कोणाला प्रश्न विचारायचे असतील तर त्यांनी व्हॉट्सअपवर टाकल्यानंतर त्याचे उत्तर आम्ही तुम्हाला व्हॉट्सअपवरती देऊ. पुनश्च एकदा सर्वांचे आभार. आज जितके लोकांनी आमच्या YouTube चॅनलवरती मॅडमचं लेक्चर ऐकण्यासाठी जॉईन झाले असेल त्यांना सगळ्यांना धन्यवाद. दर महिन्यामध्ये आपण महिन्याच्या शेवटच्या शनिवारी किंवा रविवारी हा कार्यक्रम करत असतो आणि आता गेले जवळजवळ 8-9 महिने झाले आपण सक्सेसफुली दर महिन्यात करत असतो. तसंच आम्ही पुढल्या महिन्यामध्ये अजून एका चांगल्या स्पीकरला घेऊन आपल्याला योगाच्या बाबत मार्गदर्शन करण्यासाठी लेक्चर अरेंज करूया, ते आम्ही तुम्हाला कळवूया. तसंच आपल्या IYA महाराष्ट्र ब्रँच तर्फे आम्ही आता झोनल वेबिनार पण अरेंज करण्यासाठी तुम्हाला प्रवृत्त करत आहोत, तुम्हाला इन्स्पायर करत आहोत. ज्यांना कोणाला हे वेबिनार असे अरेंज करायचे असतील त्यांनी मला किंवा मास्टर गुरुजींना कॉन्टॅक्ट करून त्याच्याबद्दल माहिती घ्यावी. त्याच्यामध्ये आम्ही तुम्हाला टेक्निकल नो हाऊ, स्पेशल फॅकल्टी सुद्धा देण्याचं कार्य करूया. तर पुन्हा एकदा सर्वांचे आभार. मस्करजी,
हा बोला.
शांतीपाठ घेता?
हा घेतो. डोळे मिटलेले?
तुम्हाला काही बोलायचं असलं तर तुम्ही.
नाही काय माझं झालं बोलून.
ओके.
दोन्ही हात जोडलेले. शांतीपाठ आपण म्हणूया. ओम पूर्णमद पूर्णमिदं पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ओम शांती शांती शांती. हरि ओम तत्सत. हरि ओम तत्सत. हरि ओम तत्सत. आपण इथे हे वेबिनार खूप छान प्रकारे सक्सेसफुली कंडक्ट केलं. पुरकारचे पुन्हा एकदा मनापासून आभार. आमच्या घरचीच आहे ती. म्हणजे घरची 2 अँगलनी आहे. IYAच्या अँगलनी पण आहे आणि घंटाळे मित्रमंडळ अँगलनी पण आहे. IYAला पण ती एका कोर कमिटीची मेंबर आहे, अध्यक्ष आहे. सो दोन्हीकडे तिला माहेरी आल्यानंतर वाटलं असेल असं मला वाटतं. आणि तिचा या विषयातला प्रचंड अभ्यास आहे. तो आता मला ऐकलेला पण आहे, आपण बघितलेला पण आहे. आणि त्याच्यामधनं मॅक्झिमम बेनिफिट करून घ्यावा अशीच मला सर्वांना अपेक्षा आहे सर्वांच्याकडनं. पुन्हा सांगतो की पाठकजींना किंवा मला प्रश्न पाठवले ते चालतील. वी विल गेट इट क्लॅरिफाईड फ्रॉम मुलका. कारण आता युट्यूबवरती असल्यामुळे हा एक फरक पडतो की यू आर नॉट एबल टू इंटरॅक्ट डायरेक्टली. ठीक आहे, पण डझंट मेक इन डिफरन्स. आणि प्रश्न नसले तर उत्तम. याचं कारण तिचं डेलिव्हरेशन इतकं छान होतं की प्रश्न पडायची शक्यता त्या मानाने कमी आहे. ठीक आहे, आपण इथे थांबूया. विल स्टॉप दिस. थँक्यू व्हेरी मच वन्स अगेन. हरिओम.
धन्यवाद.
थँक्यू. हरिओम.
तुम्ही पाठक स्ट्रीमिंग फक्त बंद करा. लाईव्ह स्ट्रीमिंग
काय करू?
लाईव्ह स्ट्रीमिंग